Hello everyone! Welcome back to another Fallout 76 video. We were waiting for another hotfix patch, but instead we got patch 15, which means it's time for patch overview, and let me show you the main highlights. A new patch just went live in Fallout 76, and it does seem like an extensive one, at least according to the patch notes article from Bethesda, but don't get deceived. In this case, it's not really a major patch, even though they are calling it patch 15, because most of the contents there, I would risk to say 80 to 90% are completely irrelevant. They are minor changes. They are things that you won't notice unless you are actively looking for them. And the patch notes are just filled with things that are very straightforward. There's nothing much into it. It actually feels like one of the directors there asked the employees to keep track of every little action they have done. At least that's the feeling I got after reviewing the patch notes several times. Here are a few examples of what I mean, in case you haven't checked them yet, so you have a better idea. Anyway, I don't want to delay this intro any further, and let's begin with the highlights and get into the patch 15 overview. Let's start with the most evident one. There are some visual changes in the main menu. We are going back to the origins with the footage and the music as well. We no longer have Nuclear Winter or WAD Appalachia stuff. It's back to the very beginning. Also in Nuclear Winter, the Halloween decorations are gone now, and we are back to the normal decorations, let's say. I think it's safe to say that things are now back to what they used to be. One of the main changes, or new content if we can call that, is this new option under display that allows you to disable players' names. Or you can keep it as usual, as it always has been, but if you disable it in-game, you will see everybody as player. They are called that. You can still see people's ranks, but you won't be able to see their names. This affects every mode. In the map it works the exact same way, and in Nuclear Winter as well, but when you access the social tabs you will be able to see people's names. So if you wish to find somebody, social is the way to go. Other than that, I'm not so sure what is this feature for. Maybe for those who always end up in the same match with people they dislike, and this way they won't be able to see their names anymore, so that could be a somewhat safety solution, or, well, ignorance is bliss in this case. Another new feature is the fact that survival tents and camps now have green light area radius sort of thing. It's pretty much indicating when it's safe to build when you are in range of other people's camps, tents, or locations that don't allow you to build anything. But this new system is really buggy. As you can see, this green circle keeps disappearing. At first I thought that it didn't work, then I thought that I was seeing things, and then after testing slowly I realized that the circle appears, but as I move it disappears for some bizarre reason. But it is there. They still need to, well, optimize it, but it's a great feature. At least it allows you to understand when you are able to build and when you are restricted or blocked from placing anything. This is probably my favorite change, which is related to the Atomic Shop. We now have a Fallout First category, which is okay, I guess. Since they are planning to add more Fallout First items in the future, it makes sense to add a specific and dedicated category to it. But what's really interesting here is the free tag or icon. That is really useful in my opinion, and I love it, because now you can understand if there is a free item to claim. When you go to the main menu and there is this green free icon, it means there is at least one icon that you have to claim, or you can claim, you don't have to. In this case, there were two. I only knew about the wallpaper and then I had to search everywhere to find the second one, which was this pride frame. After I got it, I checked the main menu and the free tag immediately disappeared, which is a great indicator and allows you to really know if there is a free item to claim when you log in. Another solid change is the fact that scrapping bulks with several items like the ammo bags from Vault 94, they are no longer bugged, which means you can repair and craft at ease. If you are missing a component, let's say steel, you will no longer lose all the other components in that bulk while doing your usual business. Before, you would lose them. If you only need one component, you would get it and all the others would be lost, but now that seems to be fixed. This means that you no longer have to scrap these bulks like the ammo bags in order to be safe and keep all your components. You can just craft and do your stuff without worrying about losing materials. That's always a great thing. Oh boy, the SCRAPBOX got lots of improvements and fixes. Let's start with the straightforward ones. For example, the SCRAPBOX can now be attacked and destroyed. It has the same durability as the stash box itself. They also changed the blue color a little bit to match more the stash box. They kind of look the same color now. But there's more. Let's go to the practical functional things. You can now see which junk you have in the SCRAPBOX main menu. Before it was just empty, you couldn't see what junk items you had. You can also select which or how much do you want to store when you have stacked items. That's also a great feature, which wasn't possible to do before. And the scrap and store button will become gray when you don't have any junk items left in your inventory. Before, you could just click that button over and over regardless if you had junk or not. Moreover, no members can click on the scrap and store button anymore. Instead, they will get a new message explaining why they can access the scrap box. There is also an update for new sorting options for the transfer menu, which I'm not sure what are they referring to. If you do, let me know in the comment section below. Thank you. Another quality of life change is the fact that they have changed the emotes, the dance ones at least. Before, you could spam the dances and the music would go on over and over. You could actually repeat the songs. In Nuclear Winter, in the main menu, people were just abusing this. It was chaotic. Sometimes I had to disable my sound because it would kill my ears, literally. Now they have fixed this. Every time you access the emotes panel, it will cancel the last animation and sound for dances. You can no longer abuse and spam the sounds, which is great. I really dislike that. Private worlds also received a bunch of updates with patch 15. For example, when you are in a private world as a non-member, servers would shut down too soon when the last member left the world. Now that seems to be fixed. There is also a new placeholder message for this type of situation. There is also another change when your camp place has been taken by another friend. You will no longer get asked if you would like to try and find another world where you can freely place your camp. I mean, that doesn't apply here, does it now? The last fix is about an issue on Xbox where some people couldn't join their friends' private worlds. Now that seems to be fixed as well, and that's nothing but a positive thing since Fallout 1st is one of the latest contents added to Fallout 76. It needs tweaking, it needs fixing, and Bethesda is doing just that. Now here's a fun fact for those with COLLECTRON bots at their camps. Did you know that your bot sometimes would wander around even though you were not in game anymore? You just log out, go offline, and then your bot stays in the game wandering around doing God knows what. I surely don't. I don't think I want to, but this bug is now fixed according to Bethesda, and you no longer have to worry about your bot being stuck, bugged in game after you're long gone. Well, surprise, surprise, for Nuclear Winter it seems like defense items weren't working as supposed. Well, that's not news for me, because you really die quickly in Nuclear Winter. Sometimes I wondered if defense perks actually matter, because it feels like defense perks are useless, like they don't do anything. Maybe because of this issue, this bug, they claim that the issue is now solved, but I don't think it is. It feels the exact same right now as before. Playing with defense perks or not is pretty much the same. Or maybe the changes they did are very minimal, therefore it's basically impossible to understand the difference. One or the other, but I would maybe go for it is not fixed yet. Another bug that has been addressed in Nuclear Winter by Bethesda is the stealth mode, which is a sort of protection when you spawn, and it kind of makes you invulnerable, or at least it's supposed to, but it wasn't working as intended since you could still take some damage, small amounts, but yeah. It wasn't supposed to be that way, and Bethesda claims that this protection mode is now working 100%. You cannot take any damage when you are under the spawn protection at the very beginning. Now, this point really surprised me because I had no idea it even existed. It seems like you were able to take or get Nuclear Winter items in other modes, in Adventure and in Private Worlds. How? I have no idea, nor I want to know. But Bethesda said that they have fixed this exploit and you can no longer obtain Nuclear Winter items outside of, well, Nuclear Winter, which is supposed to be that way. Let's hope it stays that way as well. Last main point for Nuclear Winter is the fact that you were able to spawn and even access certain buildings in Morgantown that are closed, which are not supposed to be accessible, but they were for some bizarre reason. Bugs. Now that seems to be fixed and you shouldn't be able to get inside of these buildings or spawn inside of them, unless you are using cheats, of course, that's another matter. But playing legit, you shouldn't be able to do this anymore, which is a great thing. I mean, we have enough cheaters and problems in Nuclear Winter as it is, so this is one less. And I think that's always welcome. What else has changed with patch 15? Well, Bethesda has picked over a dozen of locations and added some improvements. I would say that some of them are very minor. They're mostly about visuals and even fixes in general. For example, in Flatwoods, they corrected some floating shrubs placement, and in Nuke Silos, door buttons for storage room exits no longer appear to float. Also, in Monoga Power Plant, players can no longer fire weapons through control room windows. So that's some of the many changes that they have done, but as I mentioned, they are very small and you will surely miss them unless you are actively searching for them and checking them out in game. We are getting close to the end, and this point is also vast. There are a lot of minor changes here. I will cover just some to give you an idea of what type of changes we are talking about here. Some movement with Ranger's outfits. There was also a change in the Ranger armor helmet. The name changed slightly. And I think they added the skin for Nuclear Winter before it was bugged. The chef hat is now white for female characters. Before it was being displayed as black, just like the one you would get from Meat Week. Several bugs were fixed as well. For example, with the Raider gas mask, there was some display bug when you access the appearance mode. Now that seems to be fixed. and now I hope you understand what type of changes I was referring to. And for last, I will show you the Atomic Shop new entries. We have the Shadow Prime Power Armor skin. So this is for 18 euros, super expensive, but you have the voice lines and it looks super cool, at least according to most people. I personally don't think it's worth the price, but it's totally up to you. We also have a new Thanksgiving outfit. It looks pretty decent to me. It's a hat and the costume as well. Then we have the matte black paint for handmade rifles. They look pretty good. We also have a backpack skin for Thanksgiving, which looks extremely weird. It's like you're carrying flowers in your bag. And then we have a new display case skin, which actually adds 2 more slots for displaying items. So it's like an upgrade with the skin. There is a new table and chairs for the Thanksgiving theme as well. There is at least one new free item to claim. It's this gray wallpaper. And I also found the Pride frame. I'm not sure if it's from this patch or if it was there for some days already, but just in case, I decided to share it with you. Alright, these were the 16 highlights that I managed to get for you for this patch 15. What about bugs? Well, I didn't really manage to find new bugs, surprisingly. I found this one where I got stuck around the Robka Research Center. Then I tried to escape through my power armor and I found an animation bug. As you can see, I was inside my power armor immediately with no animation whatsoever. But other than that, I really didn't find any new bugs. I was like, wow, is this real? Of course, I still found the old usual ones like fast traveling, eating, crashes sometimes, and even the action bar and the emote bar, which replace each other all the time. But it seems like Bethesda is doing something. They are actually trying to fix the game as seen in this patch, and the game does feel more stable, at least between yesterday and today with this new patch. Anyway, that's going to be everything for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed the content. And if you are new, don't forget to click in the subscribe button below as well. I have a Patreon page for anyone who would like to support me even further. Feel free to check the link, it's always down below in the video description. Again, thank you everyone for all your support and I will see you very, very soon. Adeus, bye bye!